It's your boy Neal back with another reaction video, guys, and here we are back with Yorak talking about Cyclists. Shout out Yorak in this content, bro. Definitely dope. I can't wait to get into this. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
Yeah, some days I feel unfazed, like when I'm with my friends with a coat race. On Monday, I gotta go.
Oh my God!
Till hump day, then I go right back at it like an automatic. More drinks, more songs, more beats to rap. I need a shrink, I'm gone. More time keeps passing. No watch, no thoughts at all. Just a hat, new era. Rep my P's and those O's. Need the Phillies with the orange and black to feel home. From Citizens Bank back to Camden Yards. It's a tale of two cities, and trust we go hard. Trust we go hard. Yes, we go hard. You said we go hard. I said we go hard. Rockin' my Bob Cousy, stocking up on the loose. The lyrics come easy, but the life is a doozy. And yes, I'm choosy, and no, I won't settle, but I still take pop off over that kettle, cause I'm talking bigger picture. And yes, I'm gonna hit you with the
that car definitely took him out. Jesus. I love it. I love it. That's great. Look at this. Oh my God.
In case you didn't already know, Australia is a good country. It's so good in fact that Melbourne and Sydney are constantly ranked in the top 10 most livable cities. But as you may have noticed, Melbourne is currently ranked 3rd, and that means two things. First of which is the fact that we didn't have enough money to bribe them for first place, and secondly, there's two cities that are better. And you guys already know that Big Daddy Yorak has a few PhDs, and that means when it comes to research, I'm the right man for the job. You see, the reason that Melbourne is only 3rd most livable city in the world is because of the traffic. But there's been one question on everyone's...
That traffic, I absolutely hate traffic. Traffic is the bane of my existence. I can't stand it. It's so frustrating. So I'll keep it going, Yorak. I just have to voice my disdain for traffic.
Most livable city in the world is because of the traffic. But there's been one question on everyone's mind since the dawn of time. And that is, what causes traffic in the first place? But one day, 33 minutes into my 47-minute drive to my local KFC that's only 2 kilometers down the road, it finally clicked. They wear high-vis, tight shorts, speed dealer sunglasses, and have a bad temper. No, it's not apprentice carpenters, it's cyclists. With a top speed of roughly 25 k's an hour and an addiction to riding in the middle of the road instead of the bike lane, no one causes a traffic jam quite like a cyclist. And that's why I've made it my personal mission to put an end to cycling. But you see, I have to use a different approach this time. Because it's 2023, if these grown men want to dress up in tight pants and bright colours to go hang around with other men wearing tight pants and bright colours, they are more than welcome to. So in today's video, I will end cycling by using facts, reason and logic to debunk every argument that cyclists use to justify their actions.
I'm excited for this video. I'm excited for my guy to completely end cycling with this one video. This is going to be a great moment. In the U.S., we don't really have too big of a problem with cycling. I feel like there's not too many places to cycle, but I've only been in maybe like a handful of states, so it could be different all over the U.S. Could be more cyclists somewhere. But where I've been to, I've never seen a problem with cyclists. You got to have a car, and yeah, not too people do cycle, but not too many.
Logic to debunk every argument that cyclists use to justify their actions, while also offering solutions and alternatives so that they can still have their fun and not get in my way while I'm on the way to KFC. Anyway, that's enough waffle, let's get into it. The first argument that we'll be debunking today is that cycling is cheaper than driving. But the fact is that in some cases, cycling is actually cheaper than driving. When I was 15 years old, before I grew up, I I used to ride bikes as well, and that resulted in me quickly finding out how expensive cycling can be. When I was 15, buying a bike was not an option. They just cost too much money. So what I used to do was find bikes on the side of the road, bring them back to my house and stash them down the side, and whenever I needed to go somewhere, I'd ride that bike to my destination, leave it leaned up against a tree, and if it was still there 4 hours later when I decided to make my way home, that meant that I didn't have to walk. But the problem is, if you're not finding your bikes on the side of the road like I did when I was 15, cycling is going to be a lot more expensive than driving. And here's why. This bike here cost $20,000.
Nah. No way. Can't be. Not true. There's got to be a motor in that bike somewhere. There's $20,000 for a bike? Like, and I know it has to be like one of the top tier best cycling bikes to ride. But $20K is insanity.
Driving, and here's why. This bike here cost $20,000. $20,000 is a lot of money. So to all the cyclists out there watching, how can you justify spending $20,000 on a push bike that only comes with 2 wheels and 1 drink holder when you can spend $500 on an AU Falcon with 6 months rego and get 4 wheels plus 1 in the boot, 2 cup holders, and still have $19,500 left for 3 months worth of petrol?
I love them AU Falcons. He said for $19.5K for 3 months worth of petrol.
See, it just doesn't make any sense. Even on the lower end of the spectrum, this bike here is $1,000. With $1,000, you could still buy that $500 AU Falcon, and you'd still have $500 left over to put enough fuel in the tank to get halfway home. So now that I've completely voided the argument that cycling is cheaper than driving, I'll get into debunking our next argument, and that is that cycling is more convenient than driving. For some reason, you cyclists love to bang on about how convenient cycling is, but that's where you're wrong. Cycling has to be one of the least convenient things ever invented. If you get a flat tire in a car, you can quickly pull over, change the wheel, and continue on your merry way. But if you get a flat tire on a push bike, you'll have to carry the bike the rest of your journey, and that means you have to walk around in public with a bike over your shoulder, dressed up like a shrink-wrapped traffic cone. But let's just say...
Dressed up like a shrink-wrapped traffic cone. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who's arguing that cycling is more convenient than driving. I guess traffic-wise, it could be an argument. But without traffic, it's not even close to being as convenient as driving. But you run into traffic, it might be more convenient. So depends where you're driving, or depends where you're cycling.
The bike over your shoulder, dressed up like a shrink-wrapped traffic cone. But let's just say you got lucky one day and actually made it to where you were going without breaking your bike in 50 pieces. Now you have to find somewhere to park it. With a car, all you need to do is find a parking spot and lock it. And if you didn't choose to park in a tow-away or no standing zone, when you come back at the end of the day, it'll still be there. But with a push bike, you have to find somewhere with maximum security. The problem with leaving a push bike anywhere that isn't gated and locked is the fact that if the public can still access it, it's free game. You could put 43 bike locks on your bike and lock it to a telephone pole at the front of a police station, and there's only a 10% chance that when you come back at the end of the day, it'll still actually be there.
Do people really be snatching bikes like that, bro? Nah, it can't be that bad. People can't be snatching bikes like that. Sheesh.
Only a 10% chance that when you come back at the end of the day, it'll still actually be there. If you leave any sort of push bike on the side of the road, no matter how many locks you put on it, there's always a 100% chance that some junkie will spawn in with a pair of bolt cutters, cut the dog loose, and make a beeline for cash converters. But it's alright, because when your bike inevitably does get stolen, you'll be able to find it and buy it back from either Gumtree, Facebook Marketplace, or cash converters. Now that's what I call convenient. Now before we get into the alternatives that I've come up with for cyclists so that they get off the road and I can drive to KFC at more than 17 kilometers an hour, I'm going to give you a few more reasons why cycling is bad. The classic cyclist outfit is a helmet, overpriced speed dealer glasses, a shrink-wrapped on Lycra bodysuit, and Velcro shoes. At the end of the day, it is 2023 agree, and you can wear whatever you want. But you can't convince me that there's one person in the entire world that looks good wearing this. Alright, that's enough criticizing of the...
If they do, I haven't met them. If they do look good wearing it, I haven't yet to meet
a cyclist fashion choice. Because another thing that makes cycling almost impossible to be practical is the weather. When you're driving an AU Falcon, if it starts to rain, you have these two little things on the windscreen, you flip a switch and you're good to go. But if you're a cyclist and it starts to rain, you better run for cover, because if you don't, you're gonna get drenched. But when it comes to cycling, there's only one real weather condition that you can actually enjoy it in, and that is when it's dry and sunny, but not too sunny, because then you're gonna overheat. But the thing is, with Melbourne weather, you never know when it's gonna be sunny. You can check the weather app and it'll tell you that it's going to be 10 degrees and sunny. But what that actually means is that in the next 10 minutes there's going to be torrential rain, 15 thunderstorms, and then 30 minutes later when the rain stops it's going to be 40 degrees and you're going to end up with sunstroke. But then...
I feel that. I'm coming from Texas, bro. Like, the weather can hit all seasons in one day. It can give you all the seasons' weathers in one day. Like, it's just unpredictable. So I felt that when he said that. If you check the app and it's like 10 and sunny, that means it's going to be torrential downpours. It's going to be 40 degrees. You're going to be scorching. It's going to be everything but 10 degrees and sunny.
When the rain stops, it's going to be 40 degrees and you're going to end up with sunstroke. But then by the time the ambulance gets to the side of the road where you've fallen off your bike due to heat exhaustion, it'll be raining again so badly that while you were lying there unconscious, you got washed 3 suburbs away. So by now you've probably realised that cycling is a bad idea and that you should get out of my way when I'm on the way to KFC. But there may still be some cyclists out there who want to be able to ride their push bike without inhaling diesel fumes from the Nissan Patrol that just overtook them while rolling coal at 480 kilometers an hour. And that's where I present my solution. It's called the exercise bike. On the exercise bike, you can live out your fantasies of riding 3 kilometers an hour in the middle of the road without any of the risk of becoming a victim of road rage. With an indoor exercise bike, you can control the temperature, and you can even set up a TV to watch while you ride your exercise bike so that you can watch my videos while you exercise instead of being forced to watch every tradie in a 20-kilometer radius flip you off. But if you don't want to use an exercise bike and you enjoy getting out in the open to ride your push bike, luckily the government's come up with a solution, and that's called bike lanes. It's come to my attention that many cyclists do not know that bike lanes exist.
What's the point of us spending this money if you're not going to use it, you
You see, for many years now the government has been building bike lanes. They're located on the side of the road. Even though these bike lanes have been around for many years, most cyclists still choose to ride down the middle of the road at 20 kilometers an hour. So now that...
Nah, I'd be heated. Yeah, I'd be heated, bro. Like, why are you riding in the middle of the road? I know he's telling them to pass, but why are you riding in the middle of the road in the first place, bro? Like, get to the side to where I can pass you without you having to tell me I can pass. And then the other cyclist that wasn't in the lane, like, it was a whole lane there made specifically for you that I cannot drive in. Yet, you're still in my lane. Yeah, I'd be heated.
Cyclists still choose to ride down the middle of the road at 20 kilometers an hour. So now that Uncle Yorak has blessed you with this wisdom, next time you decide to go out, ride your push bike and clog up all of Melbourne's traffic, don't. And with the problem of cycling solved, it's time to end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment and share if you'd like to hear more teachings from the Prophet of Yorak Hunt. And as always, a shout out to all the people who made a donation to the charity of my bank account. And once again, another special shout out to DerpNZ for emptying his wallet into my bank account with this $100 donation. I just spent it all on a brand new Lycra bodysuit. And don't forget to buy a t-shirt, you dogs.
Absolutely loved it. That's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. It's your boy Neal. Out.